I want to welcome you to the Pro Mindset Podcast. The Pro Mindset Podcast is all about diving into the headspace that results in championship performance. High-performing athletes, winners, have this mental flow and have a positive headspace for their performances and success. Join me, Craig Domann, sports attorney and NFL agent, on this podcast. I will interview pro athletes, college athletes, football coaches, and sports personalities. Together, we can discover how you can get in the flow and have your own pro mindset. Today on Pro Mindset, we are going to talk about how do you win. The question is, and this is for every fan out there that might be rooting for a team that hasn't figured out how to win, how do you win? You know, in the NFL, the New York Jets are winless. And we're in week 11 or week 12 of the NFL season. How can these guys go winless when they've got a quarterback from USC? Obviously, he's dealt with some injuries this year. But how can that happen? How can the Jacksonville Jaguars be 1-9 going into today? Here's the reality. Some teams, some franchises, some organizations, some programs just know how to win, and some don't. The players and the characters can change. The front offices can change. The coaches can change. But the tradition of winning or not remains the same. The interesting thing is winners find a way to win. Losers find a way to lose. It doesn't matter what the score is at halftime. It doesn't matter what the weather conditions are. It doesn't matter what the momentum is. Winners find a way to win. Somebody makes a big play. And losers lose. Losers muff punts. Losers have untimely penalties. Losers throw knucklehead interceptions. Losers have ball insecurity. They fumble the rock when in the most inopportune times. Some coaches and some programs win despite their talent, in spite of their talent, regardless of their talent, regardless if they have a first-round talent, regardless if they have a franchise quarterback, regardless of whether they have young guys or old guys, new guys, rookies, freshmen, or seasoned vets. And what it boils down to is a combination of players and coaches. Some coaches know how to coach. Some coaches know how to win. Some players know how to win. Some players know how to perform in clutch situations. Some don't. Just look at the Patriots, the Seahawks, and the Steelers in the NFL. The Steelers, they've been winning since the 70s. Doesn't matter who their quarterback is. Doesn't matter who their coach is. They just know how to win. The Patriots won the AFC East like 15, 16 years in a row. I'm watching football today. They just beat the Cardinals today. They just know how to win. They're not having a Super Bowl season this year as they're making this transition from the post-Tom Brady era, but they just know how to win. Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, North Dakota State. They change coaches. They change players. A lot of the guys at Clemson and Alabama are 3 and done. Some of them only play 1 or 2 years, and then they're gone, and they're just replaced by other players. They still win. The Duke Blue Devils, Kentucky Wildcats, the Kansas Jayhawks in college basketball. They have a lot of 1 and done guys. They still win. The players, when they show up on campus at those institutions, expect to win. Kansas has won or tied the Big 12 Conference Championship in basketball a billion years in a row. Bill Self doesn't know what else to do but to win the conference. And when the guys show up, some better than others, some teams better than others, they still figure it out. They still find a way to win. And when the pressure's on and they're in a got-to-win game against Baylor or Oklahoma or Iowa State, they figure it out. They win. They figure out how to win. And Iowa State is coached by a coach right now that knows how to win. He won at Toledo. He's winning at Iowa State. And one of his players, one of his star running backs after they beat Texas yesterday, talked about 5-star culture beats 5-star players. So that begs the question, what's culture? A lot of coaches talk about culture. I'm not sure a lot of coaches know how to build culture, especially winning culture. A lot of coaches use culture as a defense mechanism and an excuse why they're not winning. The thing that's ironic is the coaches are in charge of the culture. The coaches establish the culture. The coaches define it. So, big picture, what in the heck is the difference between winners and losers? Is it the coaching? Is it the culture? Is it personnel management, getting better players, recruiting better players, drafting better players? What is the secret sauce for winners? How in the heck do some teams win when they have lesser talent? How do some teams win when everybody doubts them? The media, the fans, the betting services, they all think they're going to lose, and they figure out a way to win. What I'm going to talk about is my personal and professional perspective on what it takes to be a winner. How do you win? It's not a player thing. It's not a coach thing. It's both. There's an interdependence between the coaches and the players. Both have to be on the same page for you to establish a winning program. Of course, if you have better players, that helps. If you're playing better than players, that helps. If you have a better quarterback, franchise type quarterback, that helps. If you get rid of the previous coach's misfits, that helps. But it's not an excuse. Coaches that come in and say things like, we got to get my guys in here. That really pisses me off because in the NFL, every one of those guys is pros. And coaches and front offices, every time they change, they'll change like 30 guys just for the sake of change. When college football coaches come in, they have two choices. Choice number one, to do what some coaches do, which is, hey, when I get my guys in here, my type of guys that fit my scheme, then we're going to be good. And then there's the coaches that come in and say things like, you didn't pick me, but I picked you. I picked you. I took this job because I want to coach you. I don't care if you're a fifth year senior and you've been with another staff for 4 years. You're my guy now. Which group of players is going to stand up and ball out for their coach? A lot of young coaches make that mistake. They come in and say, hey man, I need to get my guys. Holy smokes, do you not think the guys in the locker room have Twitter? See a few things on the media? You've alienated your players even before you've practiced once, before you even line up for the first game. So let's go to my 6 key elements for creating a winning culture. Number 1 is confidence, belief, and trust. Number 2 is preparation. Number 3 is practice. Number 4 is visualization and creating a winning movie in your mind. Number 5 is discipline and awareness. And number 6 is staying away from loser miscues, loser moments, and loser situations. So that sounds like 20 things, but it's only 6. So I'm going to start with number 1, confidence. There has to be uber confidence by the players in their skills. There has to be confidence by the players in their coaches. There has to be confidence in the players for the play calls the coaches are making. And the reciprocal side is the coaches have to have confidence in their players. The coaches have to demonstrate confidence in their game plan. And there has to be confidence in situational performance. The coaches are in charge. They have to prepare the players for different situations they're going to come up in a football game. If you've watched 1,000 games like I have, there are only so many different things that can happen in a game. Thankfully, they all don't happen in one game. But whether it's a fake punt, a muff punt, a trick play, a flea flicker, a personal, it doesn't matter what it is, there's only so many things that can happen. There's only so many penalties that can happen. There's only so many ways you can self-destruct. But getting back to confidence, you have to have, as a player, you have to have confidence in your ability to overcome previous failures. You have to have positive self-talk, that little voice before every play, especially big plays, big moments, key plays in the game. That little voice that's saying, hey, you sure you can do that? You need to squash that voice. You need to have a positive voice that says, you got this. The other thing that players have to do is, football is an 11-man game. There's 11 guys on your team on the field every time, every play. Or at least there only should be 11. And you have to trust the other 10. So if you're a player and you're thinking that you're not sure if your teammate can get the job done, you'll start trying to do his job too. As soon as you try to do someone else's job, you won't even do your job well. Coaches have to trust themselves, trust their preparation. I hate coaches that put in an awesome, genius game plan during the week and then get to Friday night before a Saturday game and change the game plan. They chicken out because they don't trust their own game plan. They don't trust their players. They start second guessing themselves. What kind of message does an offensive or defensive coordinator send to his guys when the night before a game he calls off the Wolves? Oh, we're not going to do that now. Because they're trying to lose close. They don't want to lose big. One of the biggest mistakes you can make as a coach is be scared of losing big. Go for it. If you lose big, you lose, you lose. If you have less points than the other team, whether it's 80 points less or 1 point less, it's still the same. It's still an L. So at least instill confidence in your team that you believe in them and you believe in your game plan and stick to your guns and call the plays you practice during the week. If you install a trick play for a certain situation and that situation presents itself in the game, call play. Call the play you practiced. Call the play that you prepared your team to make. Show your players you've got some gonads. Excuse me for getting a little excited there, but it pisses me off when I see a vanilla game and I know that the coach has prepared the players to be better than that. And that's because the coaches don't trust their players and they're scared to take risk. Football is a warrior sport. If you don't want to take risks, go play chess. You take chances in football, calculated chances, smart chances, but not no chances. Number 2 is preparation. You got to clear your calendar as a player. You have to clear your calendar. Clear your calendar for practice. Clear your calendar for the game. Players typically don't have a problem clearing the calendar for the game, but they don't clear their calendars for practice. Be dialed in, be locked in, be ready to go. Focus during your practice so that you're ready for the game. Take care of your body, whether it's recovery from the previous week, prep work in anticipation of this next game to maximize your performance. Know your dang game plan. Pay attention in meetings. Do the extra stuff that you need to do to make sure that you know your game plan. Everybody, those 10 other guys on the field are depending on you, and you're depending on those other 10. Everybody needs to know their job. Know the DNA and the play design of the play. Understand what the coach wants you to accomplish. As a quarterback, that makes decision-making real easy. As a blocker, it makes it real easy. As a tackler, it makes it real easy. As a cover guy, it makes it real easy. You got to understand what your role is, what we're trying to do on this play call. Hey, man, if they've got 3rd and forever and you're in the defensive secondary and they call cover 3, I guarantee you if you're one of the three guys in the back, you're not supposed to let anybody get behind you. That's your job. So don't let anybody get behind you. If you're an edge setter, don't let anybody outside of you. Everybody's got a job. Know what it is. Know what the play call is. And understand the decision-making options and the freedom that you have, the latitude you have to be creative on a particular play call, on a particular play, in a particular situation. And stay within those guidelines so that you have predictable behavior. On defense, players behind you are using the leverage of you against the ball carrier. If you're unpredictable, you're not helping the guys behind you. In addition, on preparation, you need to know your opponent. You need to know their tendencies. That goes without saying that if you want to put together a masterful game plan as a coach, you got to know what the other team's going to be doing. What's a likely scenario in 3rd and short? What's a likely scenario in the red zone? What's a likely scenario at the end of a half? Next thing is, the 3rd one is practice. So the first one was confidence, 2nd one was preparation, 3rd one is practice. Coaches have to bring the game to practice. You got to bring the future of the weekend to Monday. You have to bring it on Tuesday. You got to bring Saturday to Wednesday. You have to practice as a player doing the little things exceptionally well. If you can't do them exceptionally well against air, if you can't do them perfect against a scout team or in a walkthrough, you can't expect to do it in the game. And one of the biggest challenges I think coaches have and sometimes fail to demand and sometimes players don't want to do is practice at game speed. Obviously, if it's a walkthrough, you can walk through. If it's a learning period, fine. You do play like you practice, and if you don't practice full speed, it's impossible for you to turn it on game day and play full speed. There needs to be a purpose, an intentionality, and an intensity to practice. Because if you can demonstrate that you can do it in practice as a player, it helps your coaches grow in their confidence in their game plan. Players also need to be where their shoes are. When they're in practice, don't be thinking about your girlfriend. Don't be thinking about school. Don't be thinking about other things. In practice, be in practice. When you're not in practice, don't worry about practice. Some football teams have outstanding situational IQ. Some don't. Coaches are the ones that teach situational IQ. A team that doesn't have good situational IQ, it's a reflection of the coach more than the players. The coaches have to teach it, they have to drill it, and they have to demand it. Coaches also in practice should define what are the winning factors for their players. Is it turnovers and ball security? For defense, you want turnovers. On offense, you want ball security. Is it minimizing self-destructive plays? Like a running back that's supposed to go right, runs into a brick wall and decides to run 5 miles around to the left and loses 10 yards? Or is it a quarterback that instead of throwing the ball away, thinks he's Michael Vick, can outrun the defenders and loses 10 more yards than he was already going to lose? Is it minimizing stupid penalties, late hits, roughing the passer, and things like that? The thing about defining the winning factors for players is coaches have to get all 11 on board. They need everyone on the same page on both sides of the ball. They need the next man up to know his job. And obviously when a coach goes into a game, he anticipates having X number of players playing on his side of the ball. He needs to make sure that every single one of those guys knows their job. He needs to plan for any one of the guys getting hurt. And what are you going to do? The final thing with practice is practice includes meetings, walkthroughs, any type of team function where there's some type of learning, instruction, education, preparation. It's not just during the play, it's in between plays. It's not just when the players are on the field, it's when the practice is going on. The guys not on the field should be taking mental reps about the play that just happened and visualize themselves playing that play. The fourth key ingredient for a winning culture is creating a winning movie. You've got to be able to visualize yourself doing well. You've got to cast yourself in the movie. You got to design the movie ending so that you're the hero. Everybody should be the hero of their own movie. Define the role and the plays that you're going to make in a game. Sometimes the play is not about you. You do your job, you're not going to make the play because the play is not coming to you. Other times the play is coming to you. Are you ready when you get that opportunity? Every single player has a movie in their mind. It's either a movie of I hope I don't screw up, I hope I don't drop the ball, I hope I don't miss the tackle, hope I don't miss the block, or they have a movie in their mind that they're going to, let's say it's an offensive lineman, he's going to make the play, he's going to make the block, he's going to do his technique, he's going to do his footwork correctly every single time, but on a handful of plays in the game, his simple block is going to break his running back for a big play. His simple block is going to buy his quarterback a little bit more time to wait for a long over route for the receiver to clear the middle of the field and be open on the other side of the field. His simple job done every single play will create opportunities for big plays. You just don't know which ones they are because they all look the same at the beginning of the play. I really truly believe that the most Hall of Fame mindset players, the guys that are the ballers, They play the game in their mind before the game's actually played. And they start a couple nights before the game, and they go to bed at night, the night before the game, playing the game in their mind. What's the play call? What's my job? How am I going to do it? How am I going to respond if I don't get the look I was expecting? How am I going to just win ugly if for some reason the other guy's a little bit better than me, or gets an angle on me, or beats me on technique? How can I save the play, still get the job done? The second to last element is discipline. Discipline and awareness. And where that comes in is in a player's lifestyle and habits, in his sleep and nutrition, in his rehab, his recovery, and his body care. And you've got to have, as a player, self-awareness about your mental focus. How locked in are you? It's very difficult to be locked in for 2-3 hours straight. So when you check out, can you catch yourself and get locked back in? Even in a game, if you ask a player that's played 90 plays, are they locked in every play? No. The best of the best are. But that's why you hear guys, scouts talk about, hey, he takes plays off. Well, he checked out. He didn't have the focus. That's very normal for guys that don't practice it. It's playing an entire game is an endurance game. It's like running a marathon. You just don't go out and run 26 miles the first day. There is a training program that usually starts about 6 months out where you build up so that you can put yourself in a position so you can run that marathon. Well, playing a football game is the same way. Awareness is huge. You have to have awareness of that mental voice, of your own little voice that can be positive, can be negative. Make sure the positive voice is turned up loud, and the negative voice, you just turn that off. Turn the volume off. Everybody's got it. Turn it off so you can't hear it. I've had a scout tell me before that, especially on defense, if a player sees small, he sees a lot. And if he sees a lot, he sees a little. What the heck does that mean? What that means is if you see a little, that means you're locked into your reads, your keys, and it tells you the code to the play. And it tells you whether it's run pass, tells you whether it's inside, outside. It gives you clues if you see a little. If you see a lot, those are the guys that look like they're deer in headlights. They're slow to react. They look like they're frozen in time. It's because their vision, they're looking at too many things. And their brain is not able to quickly diagnose what the play is, where the ball went. Another aspect of awareness is breathing the oxygen of belief in between plays, so during the play you have that positive mindset, especially in game-defining plays. Let's say it's 2-minute time. Let's say it's 4th down and you got to keep the chains moving. Let's say you're in the red zone and you got to get a touchdown to win the game. The clock's ticking. You're running out of time. Can you focus and make a play and do your job on those plays? The only thing coaches can measure is effort. The only thing players can honestly talk about their performance is their effort. They're not going to make every tackle. They're not going to score a touchdown every time they touch the ball. Quarterbacks very seldom go 35 for 35 on completions. The question is, did they exert and give 100% effort on that play? With respect to awareness, the scoreboard is not where your eyes should be. If you start that's coach's job. As a player, you should pretend like it's 0-0 at all times. And when you're up 21-0, don't coast because it's still 0-0. If you're down 21-0, don't panic. It's play like it's 0-0. Play the play called, play it to the best of your ability, and you stack those plays together. If you're winning, you'll win by more. If you're losing, you'll catch up. Okay, let's go to my last factor with respect to winners and losers, learning how to win. And it really boils down to being aware of the loser miscues. Loser miscues are bad snaps on field goals, PATs, punts, shotgun snaps. Center snaps it low. It might travel 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage. The quarterback has no choice but to jump on the ball. So instead of, you did have 1st and 10, Now it's 2nd and 25. Muff punts, misplayed punts. That's like a 45-yard offensive play for the other team. When you muff a punt, it's recovered by the other team. That's like a game changer. That's a momentum maker for them. Stupid penalties, late hits, hits out of bounds, targeting hits, roughing the passer, jumping off sides. It's 4th and 2 and they line up and they might run a play, but the quarterback's probably rather get a gift. He's waiting for you to give it to him by giving him a 5-yard penalty by jumping off sides. And your eyes on the quarterback, your ears are listening to his voice inflection, you jump instead of watching the ball. The play is never going to start without the ball moving. That's why coaches teach their players to watch the dang ball. And then loser moments. Carrying the ball like a loaf of bread, not having ball security, not trusting your reads, and guessing on what you think is going to happen on the play, on what the opponent's going to do. Loser moments are when you don't do your job, trying to do somebody else's job, trying to do too much. Every player in every game gets an opportunity to make a big play. Even an offensive guard gets an opportunity to make the block that breaks his RB. The question is he focused, prepared, and can he execute when his number's called? Not every play is designed to run behind the right guard. Let's say you're the right guard. You might get 3-4 calls in a game, and that's it. What are you going to do in those 3 or 4? Other loser moments that have kind of showed up even this weekend, not knowing the down and distance. The Syracuse quarterback, absolutely, I feel bad for him, but he looked like a fool when he spiked the ball to kill the clock late in the game when it was 4th down. Gave up possession and lost the game. And if he would have known the down and the situation, he would have kept his composure. There was less than 10 seconds to go, I recall. He would have got a chance to make a play. He didn't even get a chance. He killed his own chances. Not aware of timeouts. You see it happen all the time. People don't know how many timeouts there are. Timeouts are interesting because you can't take them with you. But you can't call more than you have. You got one left, you only can call it. If you got none left, you can't call it. But you should call it when you got them. So some coaches are better than others in clock management, knowing, hey, you know what, you're behind, the other team's got the ball. Maybe you're in the NFL and you got the 2-minute stoppage of the clock as well. So let's say you got 3 left. That means you got 4 stops. How are you going to allocate that based upon what is the down and distance? And some coaches are really good at it, and some coaches aren't. And of course, it's predicated upon stoppages by the defense as well. Other loser moments, especially for coaches, is that clock management, play clock management. Players are at the mercy of the coach to call the play, and he has a brain freeze, and maybe he and the coordinator, the head coach and the coordinator, have a little bit of a disagreement on what they're going to call. Get the play in with 8 seconds left on the game clock, and they have to use a timeout, or don't use a timeout and lose 5 yards because of delayed game because the coaches were not prepared. The coaches did not perform. The coaches did not call the play quick enough. One of the silliest and most unnecessary penalties and loser moments is when a defense has more than 11 men on the field. There was a CFL Grey Cup, which is their Super Bowl, lost because of too many players on the field. If I recall correctly, the CFL has 12 players on each team on the field. And the team that was behind was kicking a field goal. The team that was ahead had 13 men on the field. And the kick was not good. The kick failed. But because of too many men on the field, the team that was behind got another opportunity to kick a field goal 5 yards shorter and won the game. Won the championship. I think some of the other minor loser moments are when a player doesn't hear the play, so he guesses. Player doesn't know the count on offense, so he guesses. In 2-minute drill, clock management, coaches and players, some are really, really good. Some aren't. I think one of the places where you can vividly see whether a coaching staff's got their act together is during 2-minute and in the red zone. Defenses, if they want to be successful, and have winning moments and not loser moments is they can bend, they just can't break. So let's just kind of review real quick my 6 things. You got to have confidence and belief and trust in each other as a coach and as a player, and a player with his other players, with his teammates. You've got to prepare mentally, physically, and as a team, you've got to be prepared. You got to practice intentionally. You got to create a winning movie. You got to have awareness and discipline. And you have to avoid loser moments. So in summary, I believe winning is learned. You prepare for it. You practice for it. You trust each other and you confidently go do it. And winning is a joint venture between the coaches and the players. Coaches and players have to be on the same page. And here's the thing. Coaches, most of the time, were former players. And they have amnesia. They forget that they can't fool their players. Because when they were players, they were not fooled by their coaches. So when a coaching staff doesn't have confidence or belief in their players, the players know it. When the coaches ditch the game plan, even before the game starts, and they don't think the players know what that means, that's foolish for the coaches. Coaches should know better. At one point in time, they were players. And winning is taught. It's not caught. It's not like a cold that you can catch, but it's rather taught, learned, and it has to be intentional. Coaches that win, teach, drill, and are intentional about certain moments in a game. Go be a winner. Win the moment. Win the day. I hope you enjoyed my rant. I feel bad for teams that lose. I would like to see some teams that have had a history and a tradition of losing learn how to win. Thank you for listening to this episode of Pro Mindset. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. You can follow us on our website, ProMindsetPodcast.com, or on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Pro Mindset Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you the next time.